use it. Well, the first thing I had to do was to make sure that nobody went in that house and used it as a bathroom. But so when I was finishing that up, setting a guard there, all of a sudden I heard drrrt, drrrt, and I looked down and there was a building, and the building was bleeding. Wine. They wanted, the guys had said, who's the biggest fascist in town? And what's he got that we can use? And the Italians pointed out the ton looked like a garage, but it was a big, round ton of wine, red wine. The next thing was
when Bill mentioned the Jeep that was in our area that didn't belong there, and I understood, now I don't know this for a fact, but I heard or I understood that when they found out that Jeep was in our area, they went through and inspected all the forest areas, and they found so many Jeeps that didn't belong to us that it was atrocious. And let me add to my little trip in Norway. After I stole the bicycle, I also stole a motorcycle. I totaled the motorcycle. And when I went to the hospital, the doctor looked at my jaw. I broke the jaw on the right side, swelled up like a football. And the doctor looked at it. He said, I don't know what to do with you. If I give you Novocaine, I'd have to shoot your whole head with needles. If I give you gas, I can't work on you. If it's okay with you, I'll do it with no painkiller. So I figure, well, what the heck, a forest member? I'm going to look for pain? Forget it, go ahead. So he's moving my jaw around. It hurts. And it hurts. It kept hurting worse and worse. Finally, I blacked out. When I came to, his hand was stuck in my mouth. He couldn't get it out. He bounced around that medical office, holding his hand, cursing me up. Then he finally realized, he said, it's my fault. I should have blocked it up.
We were on Andy on the front line, and our group was closest to the beach, and there was a road there, and the one guy said, well, we're going fishing. I said, fishing? We don't have any fishing lines, so you don't need no fishing lines. I said, well, how are they going to catch any fish? And he was from Arkansas or someplace, and they do fishing different to the way we do. So he had, I don't know if it was a teller of mine, but it was something similar. And he just attached a hand grenade to it, a concussion bomb, threw it off the bridge, said, stand back. We had all the fish we needed.
Stan's comments reminds me of doing some fishing also. When we, after the freedom or the free in Rome, we were bivouac at Castel Gandolfo. And you know, it's a beautiful lake there, it's an old volcano. And we wanted some fish, and there were 2 or 3 small rowboats on the side there. They were leaking water like the dickens. So the 2 of us got in, and so we were able to get some concussion grenades. So we get out about 200 feet from the edge of the water, and the water was just seeping up on the bottom of that boat. So I told my friend, look, get the pedals ready. As soon as I release this concussion, let's pedal like hell toward the shore. Why? He says, well, when that concussion comes up, the water's gonna come up, and if we're under there, we're gonna be without a boat. So we did that, and threw the concussion grenade once, twice. So we had a lot of fish, so we came back to shore, and we were giving fish away to the guys, and everybody took out their mess kits and started frying fish there.
You know, they've left out one important aspect of the victories for the force. And that was the victories that we had in every bar that had another parachute outfit who always said, "You're not really parachutists." That was 101st and et cetera. But we did win all those battles, I just want to tell you.
I've got a comment. And it's about our favorite bar. The favorite bar, it had a front glass. Yeah, but it was always being broken out. Finally, the force adjutant went down personally and asked the owner of the bar, you know, you've had 4 or 5 times where you've lost the front glass of your establishment. I haven't heard anything from you. And the owner said, hey, the boys have a few drinks, they get whiskey, they start fighting, and then a window is broken out. It's just a matter of doing business.
There was a large group of visitors who were at this reunion at the bar last night. And I tell you, it was very lively there last night. One thing that I learned was, if you are a veteran of the 1st Special Service Force, you get free drinks all night long.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
I guess you're the boss.
We'd all really like to hear about the rodeo on the Mussolini Canal.
Well, around the Mussolini Canal, there was quite a few of us that were cowboys, eh? So some of them out there got them intelligent steers and cows, and we had a rodeo out there. And it was some great fun out there with that procedure. But we always went back to our roots, which is ranch country. Thank you, and that's all.
Any prizes for silver buckles or anything like that, bronc riding?
No, they didn't have any of that. They had a jug of wine.
A question I had for you guys is we all hear and read a lot about General Fredericks, and I wonder if you guys would comment on what kind of a force you would have been without him, or what your thoughts were about General Fredericks.
Yeah. General Frederick was the finest leader I ever served in. And his men came first, always. And particular situation we found ourselves in on the top of Monte La Defensa, holding the line, and it was raining and cold, and we'd been there half a day, and all of a sudden, we get word, we get the adjutant shows up, and all of a sudden we've got whiskey. And just like the whiskey that we handed out here tonight, we each got a drink of whiskey. Now we also were able to use something that we learned in the Aleutians. And this was that we had rubber guns, rubber. I'm trying to think of the name of the word and keep it clean. We had rubbers.
That's correct, everybody carried them.
Shades of artist rooms. But we found that we could wrap our own wallets in the rubbers and keep them perfectly dry. And we also found out that we could keep our rifles, rifle muzzles dry, and which was great. So there's a continuation of that, and this is a continuation of what I've already said about finding all the whiskey. Stan Waters is now deceased. Stan Waters was the 2nd Regiment commander, and told me after the war, he said, "Bill, when you showed up with that whiskey, it was the best thing you could have done." And I said, "Stan, I didn't do it, the general did." Well, then the general was faced with this question by his vice president, or by his officer, who asked the question, "Where did these guys get the women? Were they having parties up there on the top of that mountain?" And the answer, and the general, Bart Clark, said, "Just give them what they want." After all, he took the mountain, and he's entitled to help his men in any way he can. And so he did.
Speaking of Stan Waters, there is a mountain in Alberta named after Stan Waters. And on June the 6th, every year, the troops go up there, and us veterans go up there to do our services, our ceremonies. And the serving soldiers take ashes from fallen veterans and take them up on Stan Waters Mountain. Well, there's five peaks, incidentally. Stan Waters' name is on one of them. And they release the ashes from there. So,
When we were in Little Santa Maria fooling around with rubber boats that were going to invade southern France, which I didn't think was too good an idea. You get a hold of it, it goes to the bottom. But anyway, they were all lined up in this, I guess it's some kind of a field. The whole group was out there. I guess they were pretty close to full strength because there was a lot of people there. And they lined it up, and Fredericks got up there and said, "I am leaving. They're taking me up. They're going to promote me up." I don't think there was a dry eye in that whole group. And that was terrible.
exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to skip a lot of stuff. But
I hope so.
Anyway, a real quiet day. We were playing poker in southern France. Real quiet day, beautiful day. And one of the old timers, Jesse Whitley from Texarkana, Texas, wherever it's from, old timer. Yeah, I like to play cards with Conrad because you can read his hand right in his face. And at that time, ironically, I had absolutely nothing, the worst hand on earth. And I bluffed the hand, I won the hand, and I took the hand and I laid it down for all of them to see. And at that time, I had a brand new blanket. We happened to have a rain shower, it got wet. I hung it over a shrub to dry out. The blanket was laying there on the shrub. A shell landed next to it, blew it all full of holes. And everybody told me, throw it away, it's no good now. I said, it's brand new, I don't want to throw it away. I folded it up to just have enough good blanket on the outside. I took it to Menton, France, sold it to a French school teacher for 600 francs. That was $6. And I asked her, would you like me to open up so you can see it? She said, oh no, I got other ones like that. One of my buddies says, not like that one.
He's talking about things he did. When we were on the little island, when we invaded southern France, we went, you know, we had taken the guns out. They weren't guns, they were just on the island we were on. They were, they were dummies, but from photographs they looked like guns. But when we got on the beach, they took us off and put us up. We didn't have anything to eat. So, as a First Special Service Force they're going to solve every problem there is. So they're watching these trucks coming off the LSTs. Watching for the guys. They ran down there and just got behind it and threw some of the cases of 10-in-1s off. So what really happened? We lost 2 guys that went AWOL, and years later, I found one of them in the stockade. I said, what are you doing in there? He says, you remember when we stole those trucks? He says, I sold my truck for $100 for every case. He said, I bought a villa. I said, well, what happened? He said, I got a girlfriend, she got upset with me and turned me into the MPs, that's why I'm in here.
It's too late now to be court-martialed, but if you all remember the trip we took from Casablanca to Oran on those 40 by 8s?
40 and 8.
Yeah, 40 and 8s. You know, every once in a while, the train would have to make a water stop. And when that water stop points, the Arabic people that lived around there rushed to the train to see what they could barter us with or what we could give them. Well, one commodity that was very popular were the mattress covers. And they brought a pretty good price because all they did was make 3 holes and slip it on, and they had a dress. Well, on the second stop, we got a little wise. We had another mattress cover, so I told my buddies, hey, let's do this, cut it in half. So when we made it the next water stop, they came around and they started asking, mattress covers, mattress covers. So I told them, give me the money. So I think they were selling equivalent to about $25 a piece. And then the train would get started. And as the train was going, we would grab the money and then give them the half of the mattress cover. And then we looked for our distance when they opened it up, and they found out that it was only half of it. We knew they couldn't catch us anymore.
4 months ahead of you on the same train, it did the same thing. We ended up with the mattress covers.
I just wanted to know, before you joined the Army, what you did. Times are tough for jobs, but I'm just wondering, were you farmers? Were you ski instructors?
To let you know right off, I come from a family of 16 children, so you know why I joined the Army. I feed the rest of the family. But my father and my older brother and I went into Edmonton to join the Air Force, and they took my father and my older brother and told me to go home for a couple of years. So I said to my father, why don't we go to the Army base? So I went over there, and the recruiting officer asked me how old I was, and I said, 18, sir. So when was your birthday? 1925. He looked at my dad and started to smile. I hadn't done the math.
I had heard a story, read something in a letter about forestmen putting down an American flag and also someone sticking a Canadian flag at the island of Kiska. And if any of you have any knowledge of that.
Not true. That's not true. We were working for the U.S. Army. No matter whether you were Canadian or not, the existence of the First Special Service Force was well, that just didn't happen.
It got dark and I pulled the blinds down on the building and went to light the lamp. And I lit the lamp and it comes out with a blue flame. And this guy from Brooklyn says, "Blow that out." I says, well, I covered the windows. He said, "I ain't heard of the damn windows." He screwed the top off and took a glass and he said, "That's pure alcohol." So you can imagine what happened. We didn't have any lamps after that.
I was just curious if you guys had any more stories about Colonel Frederick. I'm sorry, my grandmother always called him Colonel Frederick. She worked with General Frederick, I'm sorry.
He was a colonel. He later, I was with him when he became a brigadier general, and we praised him for that. But there was not one night when we almost lost him. He had a heater. The heater emitted fumes, and the fumes got to him, and he almost was asphyxiated. But other people found that he was in this condition, and they fixed it up and brought him to. He refused to leave his post. When I saw him the next morning, and I said, "General or Colonel, we're happy that you're here, that you're all right, but God, you look terrible this morning." And he nodded his head, and I went then back to doing some other things that don't have anything to do with the question.
Let me just speak for the common, for the common soldier over there, the PFCs, the corporals, the sergeants. As for me, and I think most of will agree, I never saw General Fredericks or Colonel Fredericks in the year I was with the force. I didn't associate with those people. Wait a minute, she's got it.
You can tell that by the fact that he puts an S on the end of Frederick. General Frederick